Right, thank you for staying with us. You're watching Daybreak on Trust TV. Time to take a look at our discussion. We are looking at the leadership tussle in the National Assembly, not just the House of Representatives, but also at the Senate. Now, a great philosopher, Aristotle, described man as a political animal because man is by nature a social creature with the power of speech and moral reasoning. Taking a look at the desire for political power and the keen contest for leadership positions, Aristotle's thinking certainly finds great expression in today's world and also in Nigeria. And it is very evident here in the country now, even as the country gets set for the inauguration of a new president, as well as members of the 10th National Assembly. The clamor for leadership positions by members of the red and green chambers is one that has generated a lot of attention in recent times, and that is the focus of our discussion this morning. We have in the studio former member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Godfrey Gaya, and also we hope to have join us Balarabe Al-Qasim. We had earlier scheduled an interview with Sani Bala, who is also was a member of the APC in Kano, who is meant to join us on this discussion, but unfortunately we're unable to connect with him. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio, Honorable, for making our time to be on Daybreak.
It's my privilege.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, let's begin with the political climate generally in the National Assembly. This is almost like the tradition. Each time there's a new set of lawmakers, the jostling for who will be among the principal officers comes to the front burner, except that this time is coming with a lot of twists and a lot of considerations going by the outcome of the presidential election. You have an APC that won the election with a same-faith ticket. You have all this talk about issue of balancing, zoning of the seats in the National Assembly takes center stage. What do you make of the recent developments in the aftermath of the general elections?
It is expected. Like you rightly pointed out, there had been no assembly without its own issues. But the good thing is that even when they arise, certainly before the day of election, things get back to what they should be. We noticed this in the 6th Assembly, where the party insisted on bringing Ete. She was eventually sworn as the Speaker. 6 months thereafter, it was the wish of the House to replace Ete over very flimsy allegation. And it happened. Next came Tambol. Tambol was not the choice of the party. The zoning was meant to go to the southwest. Eventually, Tambol picked it for the northwest. So the tradition has always been like that. Coming to the 9th Assembly too, was wanted to become Speaker ahead of Baja B. Miller. But also, towards the end or towards the close of the election, the issue was amicably settled. Was he became the Deputy Speaker and Femi became the Speaker. So in the Assembly, it is always the tradition. Coming to the 10th Assembly in particular, of course, after the election of the President and the Vice President, many issues came up. They need to balance the geopolitical zones. They need to carry everybody along. The need for inclusivity. They need to also carry the entire APC apparatus to a level where every Nigerian will be satisfied. Of course, the President, the Vice are known. The unknown, number 3 and number 4. From day one, after the elections of the presidency, we knew that the Southwest had been taken care with having the president. The Northeast too, taken care with the Vice President. So we needed the South-South, the Southeast, and also the North-Central, and again the Northwest to be taken care of. Looking at the first same-faith ticket, it was obvious that the seat of who becomes Senate President should either go to the South-South or Southeast. Because we know from that region, chances are that 9 out of 10 will be Christians, who naturally should occupy the number 3 position for the purpose of addressing the vast nature of Nigeria, the diversity we have here, And the fact, whether we like it or not, the creeping in of religion into our body politics, that it is now at the center stage, that we cannot take away. The fact that you need religion to balance societal political equation. So certainly, it's the South-South or the South-East for Senate President. That's the number 3 position. Northwest, North Central.
All right. At the moment, what the APC has proposed, the people it has nominated, it has taken care of the Northwest, the South-South, in the person of Obongoswela Akpabio, yes. South-South, Senator Barrow, Northwest, and then we have Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, Northwest, and we also have Ben Kalu, from Abia State, Southeast. There are some people that are saying there's no North Central here. How does that,
Well, we have just about 4 positions of this nature that can be so considered. After the president, the vice, is the Senate president and the speaker. There are only 4. We have 6 geopolitical zones. And the good thing is that at the National Assembly, the leadership caucus or the leadership positions are 10 in number in both houses. So by the time you take care of the deputy speaker and the speaker, you still have the majority leader, the chief whip, and others down the line. And the ruling party normally is allocated 6 out of 10. The opposition will take 4. Now, if South-South has been taken care of and the North Central, there is no problem. We still have other leadership positions in the 2 chambers to take care of the North Central and the Southeast, as the case may be. So, of course, everybody is looking at the best and the highest position. So agitation must naturally be concentrated on either the first or the second. But the other offices that constitute what they call the leadership, they're equally important. Without the other components, there's no speaker and deputy that can succeed.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about other dynamics and peculiarities of the 10th Assembly, especially in the House of Representatives, where you have now more political parties in the picture and in the opposition. But let's go to guest who is joining us virtually, Balarabe Al-Qasim, the editor's correspondent in the National Assembly, to give us a sense of what's happening, or I'll say the mood there. Balarabe, if you can hear me, give us a sense or an idea of the mood of the lawmakers since the decision of the APC to zone the principal offices in the elections.
Yes, actually, good morning. What is happening now is that the mood is at its highest. It is tense and things are going underground and in the open. It is tense in the sense that the people vying for the positions are determined and are fighting vigorously to get it. So we are witnessing a kind of a tug of war between the parties and within the parties in supporting the candidates of their choice. Though the APC has made its choice, but within the party, many have rejected the choice of APC. We have seen like 4 or 5 candidates rejecting Abbas and Kalu as the speaker candidate and the deputy. Nevertheless, there are also groups that are cross-carpeting, that involve members of both parties going for one or other candidate. So we don't know what will happen next, but all the candidates are saying there may be a resolution at the end, but I think there are some that will not give up easily.
One of the allegations, or one of the talks by the aggrieved members, is that they claim that Tajuddin Abbas is not very popular. As someone who's been covering the National Assembly, what's your take on that? And your last story from the National Assembly, which was last night, you said that the nominee, Tajuddin Abbas, said that he was going to start consulting and meeting with some of these aggrieved members. Can you give us, how is that going to go?
terms of popularity, like they are saying, you know, popularity at the National Assembly depends on what one looks at. Some people may look at you as popular if you have many bills and many motions, like Abbas Tajuddin has about 72 or so, and 21 bills have been signed into law. So if that is popularity, you can say Abbas Tajuddin is popular. But there are people that are vocal, more vocal than him among the candidates, which people looked at that. He's not so outspoken, not so exposed, and that is what they are happy on. Each candidate has peculiarities. Maybe the parties have not explained why they choose Abbas. And those people are saying, why not them? So it all depends on how one looks at the candidates and what is their pedigree. And Abbas, to be honest, is somebody who is reserved, but people know him. But among the lawmakers, you cannot compare him with the likes of Wasi and other candidates like Gagdi. So popularity matters at the National Assembly, but like I said, it depends on what one regard as popularity of the candidate. And yesterday, yes, he said they are reaching out.
Hello.
So by proxy, he may not be the person reaching out to other candidates. It may be from a group or from the party or his colleagues. They are really reaching out, because some lawmakers supporting him are getting in touch with aggrieved parties to tell them to support Abbas.
Can you hear me, Balarabe? Just hold your thoughts, please. Would be back shortly.
Okay.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
All right, thank you for staying with us. You're watching Daybreak on Trust TV. We apologize, we had to interject there. Balarabe Al-Qasim, if you are still there, we'll be connecting with you shortly to continue with your thoughts. But let's come back to the studio where we have Honorable Godfrey Gaya as well. Well, this time around, in the aftermath of the 2023 general elections, we saw a very colorful House of Representatives. What some people say, the rainbow House of Representatives this time around, the SDP, LP, the PDP. So this time around, you don't just have one dominant opposition parties. You have several opposition political parties, which means that the powers or the influence of the ruling party in the House of Representatives have been whittled down. How do you see that being a factor in determining the direction as to choosing the leadership there?
The beauty of any democracy is that you have a lot of opinions. We always say it is good for the minority to speak, but for the majority to have their way. So that is a normal expectation. Yes, there are newcomers now. Labour has about 35, the same, even YPP, NNPP, there are so many opposition. next to the winning party, APC, is the PDP.
No, but sorry to button, but at the House of Reps now, what we have is that we have what they're calling minority caucuses.
Yes.
Made up of 182 persons. And the APC is 177, which means that they have 5 persons higher than the ruling party.
Yes.
That is what it is. And these minority caucuses have set up a 10-man committee to shop for the speaker, deputy speaker, and all of that. Shouldn't the APC be worried about this?
The caucus you're talking about has a co-chairman in the person of Chinda from Rivers. The chairman is Kumo from Gombe. Then we have Madaki, NNPP from Kano as secretary. They are clear about their mission. When they saw that APC was tentative, they said if APC cannot come out with the blueprint on who becomes their leader, certainly they can do what they want to do as opposition. But the good thing is that the APC has come up with their own position. And the coalition is comfortable about that. The leader of the coalition was among those that accompanied Tajudeen Abbas and Ben Carlo to see the president-elect yesterday in Lagos. So the message is clear. We are not fighting APC or their choice, but we wanted APC to speak. APC has spoken. If you see those who are not happy with it, they are not from the opposition. There are those of them in APC who also want to have a chance to contest.
So there's a concern that those aggrieved persons within the APC could team up with the opposition to cause problem for the ruling party.
Everything is possible. But you see, it is very rare and difficult that when the party in power has given a direction, that you have people within the same party going against it. Don't forget that even those you call opposition members, there are either PDP or
Labour Party, NNPP.
Some of them became members in this present party now, and they came from somewhere. Labour started when? So if you go back to the background of most of these people calling themselves opposition for new parties, check their roots. They come from either APC or PDP. And like I said, if you go to the House, the decision of the House is hardly understood by those outside. So I am so comfortable that having taken this bold step by the APC, it is the right step in the right direction. It has reduced a lot of the confusion people are afraid because it was virtually becoming hijacked.
Okay. How much consideration do you think is given to the experience of the lawmakers in terms of picking the principal officers of the House, knowing the processes in this in the Parliament, understanding the rudiments, the House rules, and the rest of them? How much of consideration is given to all those in deciding, who becomes
now
or occupies what post?
Now the two other positions after the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker naturally will be the majority leader, chief whip, and the likes. We have two zones that have not been touched. In fact, one zone, particularly the North Central, because at least the Southeast has the Deputy Speaker. Expected the most important, the number 3 within the system in the House of Reps, should go to the North Central. This will be done in conjunction with the leadership and the party, because the leadership or the Speaker and his deputy must consult with the party. The party too is not unaware of the little discomfort that the North Central is agitating. But sharing position on its own, you must take into consideration certain factors. The delivery of the vote that make it possible for the president to emerge is number 1. Before the number of members on the floor is number 2. Because if the Northwest has 92 members and the North Central has just about 47, you can look at where the number is tilting. Even from the people agitating to become speaker, from the 10 of them, the Northwest has about 4 or 5. That tells you their numerical strength and their advantage. And let me assure you, I was the secretary of the Northwest Caucus for 8 years. When it comes to issues on this level, you will be surprised that the Northwest that are seen to be the ones saying no against Abbas will be the first to say it is Abbas or nobody. So we are moving there, and we'll have 1 full month before the inauguration of the Speaker. 30 days in politics is like eternity. A lot can happen between now and the 13th of June.
All right.
And I can assure you, we will come back and sing the same song.
All right, during a briefing a couple of days ago by the Deputy Speaker Wasi and a couple of others, he said the reason they are speaking out is because what the NWC and the President-elect have done is taking away the independence of the National Assembly, that they are supposed to be allowed to choose the persons that they want, that it shouldn't come from the NWC of the party.
The member of the parliament comes from a platform. The platform is a political party. Every political party has what they call their working committee. They have the principal stakeholders. Then they have those elected now to take over in May and in June. So if the combination of this, the National Working Committee, the principal stakeholders, governors-elect, governors still on their seat, president-elect, and the president still on the seat, agree to say, okay, let us make our party more formidable by not allowing our sons and daughters to scramble for what is on the table. Let's save the situation. Let's save the polity by going for a consensus. And the party has announced that since we are going to have a consensus candidate. If the consensus candidate has been announced now and is known now, it is simple. The rest is to call up the others who are still feeling they should have been allowed to go to the floor to try their luck. We'll call them and we'll discuss with them. Because in politics, dialogue is key. Negotiation is endless. When you continue to negotiate, you break defenses. Before you know it, like I said, 30 days is such a long time that most defenses will have been broken before then. It was okay for Wasi to speak his mind. He felt the independence of the legislature should be vested purely on the floor. No, the floor is only a macro system within the system. The system at large is the Nigerian system. And in the Nigerian system, using our stakeholders and leaders have deemed it fit to reduce the stress and tension by picking a constitutional candidate. I think the House or the Senate should key in.
Okay. All right, let's go to Balarabe there, who is there standing by. Balarabe, if you can hear me, you give us an idea of the kind of competition really that is going on in the National Assembly. We understand that groups have emerged, you know, various caucuses, various groups, all, you know, trying to strategize, mobilizing and canvassing support for persons and all that. How many of such groups do we have? We know that there is this greater majority in the House of Representatives. Which other groupings do we have?
Yes, for now, there are two visible and very powerful groups, which consist of the Joint Task 10th Assembly, headed by Usman Bello Kumo, and the greater majority, which is largely PDP, because it has more seats than other parties. And there are similar in a way and different in another way. The greater majority is all the opposition parties without the ruling APC, while the Joint Task 10th Assembly is the ruling party and all the other parties, which makes them different. They had a meeting yesterday, and before then they have made their position known that they will go with whatever the party decided, and they have reiterated that position yesterday. On the other hand, the greater majority said they will have candidates that they will vie for the position of the Speaker and the Deputy, which means they want to compete on the floor with the candidates of the APC. So what will happen is it all depends on what these groups or the other group, particularly the Joint Task, did on the candidates of the APC. Like the candidate of the APC yesterday said they are reaching out, which is true, because yesterday I had a cause to meet one of the lawmakers who confided in me that night, saying that he wasn't with the group before, but his governor called him that night and he has to attend the meeting, which means, like the honorable said, many barriers will be broken before the inauguration of the 10th Assembly, because there are serious moves to cajole members to support the choice of the party.
As it is now, for the Joint Task 10th National Assembly now, are they in sync with the decision of the APC?
Yes, that is their position, because they said whatever the party decide, they will go there. That is their position. And in yesterday's meeting, the speaker, Femi Bajabiamila, and most of the Tinubu's frontline supporters, like the speaker, James Faleki, and others, all attended the Joint Task 10th Assembly meeting yesterday night.
Balarabe, you said that before then barriers will be broken. The barriers that the APC want broken is such that only one nominee of the APC, there will be only one nominee for that position on that day. Do you think that could be achieved?
Yes, that could be achieved, because looking at, because it is known that the president-elect has an interest in who becomes the speaker. Unlike the former president, who is seen as more of a military man,
the current
president-elect may use his political pedigree and his connections to talk to people. And I think now that he's cajoling the members, when he's eventually sworn in, his voice may be stronger than what it is now.
All right, well, let's come back to the studio. Honorable Godfrey, what do you foresee in terms of the relationship between the new crop of lawmakers and the incoming government, the government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu? There's this concern about having a rubber stamp parliament if you have people from same party and the rest of them. What do you foresee?
The talk about being a rubber stamp has always been there, but it takes the speaker who knows his onion to assert his authority. And I believe the Abbas they're talking about is a fourth timer. He has seen it all. And when people say he is not outspoken, I smile. The man that has done 78 bills, to which the president ascended 21, cannot be seen to just be a non-recognized face in the floor. Humility can be a good virtue, to some people too. It's a negative. But having said this, I can assure you that with 224 coming for the first time, it will take a very dynamic leader to gel the house together, because the experience of legislature is lacking. You can have 244 out of 360 coming for the first time, who may not even be aware of the simple house rules and regulations. So the speaker must work extra hard, gel the house together, before being able to partner the executive. It cannot be a one-man show, and that's why we're looking for the experience and for somebody who has what it takes. If this man has been a lecturer, you know Kaduna very well. He started the Department of Accountancy at Nuhu Mali. He opened the same Department of Accountancy at Council. He has been a lecturer, and you know, it's so easy for such people who have been teaching people how to do things.
Okay.
All right.
We are going to charge you for that.
because that's some advertisement for the nominee. Balarabe, are you still there? Okay, Balarabe, there's one caucus nobody is talking about, the women. I do know that a woman came out and said that she was vying for speakership of the House of Representatives. And I do know that amongst those coming in, you're going to have 14 women. So what are they saying?
The women are speaking, but their voice is so low, and unfortunately for them, their number has reduced this time. But I know of one of them vying for the speaker seat, and others vying for deputy speaker. They may get the chance, but I doubt if the men will allow them occupy the seats of the deputy speaker. They may have some positions, but I doubt if they will allow them to be deputy speaker or the speaker, so to say.
All right. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining Daybreak Show this morning and sharing your perspectives with us. We do appreciate it, and we look forward to having you again. Honorable Godfrey Gaya is a former member of the House of Representatives, and Balarabe Al-Qasim is the national correspondent of the Daily Trust newspaper in the National Assembly. Thank you so much for joining.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, that's our show for today. In case you've missed, you can always catch up across all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Join us again tomorrow.
Thank you for welcoming us into your homes this morning. Do same tomorrow at the same time, 8 to 10. Do not forget. My name is Stella Yaji, and do have a very pleasant day.